culminating with the highlights by the CS. So House Business Committee has directed that we take an average of 30 minutes, including the mover, the seconder, and those who may wish to speak, so that we can go to the next business on the finance bill. Budget Chair, Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that the Appropriations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2026, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, as you have rightfully guided, this House, having debated conclusively the budget estimates, and ultimately the Cabinet Secretary was in this House last week to give highlights of the same estimates, I would just like to take a few minutes to remind members of the key highlights of the Appropriations Bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks to authorize the issuance of 2 trillion 1.87 billion from the Consolidated Fund to fund national government services and programs for the year ending June 2027. Honorable Speaker, as you have also guided, I just want to highlight to members the contents of the Appropriations Bill, which is basically the contents which mirror the budget estimates which we have already discussed and approved. Honorable Speaker, key highlights of the bill include expenditures that will be spent to fund key programs of government, which include: 1, the education sector, Honorable Speaker, which is going to receive 781.3 billion, which will support free primary and secondary education, junior secondary school capitation, teacher recruitment and remuneration, university financing, TVET programs, digital learning, investing in human capital development also, and this is going to be a key driver for economic transformation. Honorable Speaker, the second key allocation is going to be spent on transport infrastructure, industry, and this is going to enhance connectivity, reduce transport costs, and facilitate trade and support regional integration. Honorable Speaker, the road sector has been allocated 230.3 billion, which is going to support construction of roads, rehabilitation and maintenance, and building of bridges. The transport sector will receive 51.8 billion for railway modernization, bus rapid transit system, airport upgrades, logistics hub. Honorable Speaker, the major transport projects include 20.8 billion for SGR Phase 2B and 2C, Kenya shillings 4.2 billion for Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone, 3.8 billion for flood mitigation works, and Honorable Speaker, further 19.2 billion is going to stimulate industrial growth and improve connectivity. Honorable Speaker, under Universal Health Care Program, the health sector is allocated 175.5 billion, which is going to strengthen universal health coverage, UHC, improve primary health care services, expand specialized health care infrastructure. And Honorable Speaker, under the UHC allocations, 19.1 billion has been earmarked for Primary Health Care Fund, 20.9 billion for Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA, 18.8 billion for Kenyatta National Hospital. Honorable Speaker, under Housing Urban Development, the Housing Department has been allocated 138.2 billion to support affordable housing programs, and 110 billion for urban infrastructure and informal settlements upgrading. Major allocations, Honorable Speaker, include 50.8 billion for construction of affordable housing units, 20.9 billion for social housing, and 18.6 billion for Kenya Urban Program, KENUP. Honorable Speaker, under Environment and Natural Resources, the Environment Protection, Water and Natural Resources will receive 112.4 billion to support water infrastructure, irrigation development, forest conservation, climate resilience, and wildlife management. Honorable Speaker, under Agriculture, the government has allocated 63.3 billion to agriculture and food security to support fertilizer and seed subsidy programs. Honorable Speaker, 18 billion has been allocated for fertilizer subsidy, 2 billion for seed subsidy, 5.4 billion for food resilience project, and 4.7 billion for agricultural value chain development program, NAVCOP. Honorable Speaker, under Equity, Women and Youth Development, Empowerment, 109.7 billion has been allocated for National Youth Service, 10.4 billion for Kenya Devolution Support Program, 22.6 billion for youth programs, over 21.2 billion for internship programs, and 4.7 billion for Nyota. Honorable Speaker, under ICT, 10.5 billion has been allocated to support digital transformation, expansion of digital connectivity, cybersecurity systems, development of digital hubs, and major expansions will include 5.3 billion for Kenya Digital Economy Acceleration Project, 1.5 billion for last mile connectivity, 689 million for digital hubs, 350 million for e-government procurement, 210 million for concert data center and smart city facility. Honorable Speaker, I would like to end the highlights that I was just going to give members so that they can be able to remember what they discussed last week when we were going through the estimates by saying, Honorable Speaker, that this budget is one of the most progressive budgets that this House is going to pass in the term of broad-based government. Honorable Speaker, when the minister was here last week, he gave us important highlights of some of the achievements that the budget is expected to achieve. And Honorable Speaker, I want to concur with the minister in his submissions by adding that even though there were areas where we had experienced shortages when we were going through the estimates, such as the examination fees for invigilators who processed the examinations for last financial year, I would like to confirm that that has already been provided for in the supplementary estimates which have been tabled on the House today, and all the other important critical allocations that members were asking when we were discussing this bill have been addressed. Honorable Speaker, with your guidance, and now with the many highlights I've already given concerning the key estimates in the bill, I would now like to ask my able Vice Chairman to second the appropriations bill. Thank you.
Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to second. And as members are aware, this is now to allow the government to be able to release the funds in the next financial year to operationalize the budget that was read and the estimates that were done by this House. And
we actually did extensive deliberations on these estimates. When we did the estimates, we did the committee of supplies, and which also progressed into the budget highlights that were read by the Cabinet Secretary. So I think, Honorable Speaker, this is something that has been exhaustively discussed and deliberated, and therefore I would want to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Members on their feet, take your seats.
Honourable members, I'll now propose the question at order number 10, which is that the appropriation bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2026 be now read a second time. Do I pull the question? And for avoidance of doubt, this is a matter you have discussed extensively, including the Committee of the Whole last week, which you took more than 3 hours. I now put the question at order number 10, which is that the appropriation bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2026 be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to authorize the issuance of a sum of money out of the consolidated fund and its application towards the service of the year ending on the 30th of June 2027, and to appropriate that sum and a sum voted on account by the National Assembly for certain public services and purposes.
Before the next order, honorable members, in the Speaker's gallery, I acknowledge Karuri High School from Kiambaa, Kiambu. And in the public gallery, Taita Taveta opinion leaders from all Taita Taveta constituencies in Taita Taveta. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the opinion leaders and the students to the House of Parliament. Next. Yes, Cynthia Muge, hold on, clerk.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thought I could take this opportunity now that there is a mention of opinion leaders from Taita Taveta, Honorable Speaker. And I have paid a lot of attention so that I can see who are these opinion leaders and shapers in Taita Taveta. I want to take this opportunity to invite them to Parliament so that they can be able to see the beneficiaries of opinion shapers. And these are the people that have proper opinion shapers on the ground. Again, Honorable Speaker, allow me to also welcome the students that have come here on educational tour. This is the House of Parliament. This is where legislation is done. This is where oversight is done. And this is where representation is done by the representatives of Kenya. So welcome, and this is where you also pick dreams and you also choose where you want to go. If you want to belong here, this is the place to come every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday. May the good Lord bless you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.